Hello and welcome back to the Cardboard Barracks. This is Illuminatus, and this week we're talking about more Borderlands 2 DLC. So, Mr. Torgue's campaign of Carnage came out Tuesday, and it is about as exciting as it sounds. The story goes like this. They find another vault on Pandora. Torgue claims the land and holds a tournament to find the ultimate badass on Pandora, who will be the only one able to actually open the vault. So, you know, that's simple enough. Ultimately, the way it plays out is that you have to fight your way up the tournament ladder and become champion. You start out in 50th place, have a large arena battle, and then get bumped up to 5th, at which point you have to take down the top 4 other warriors. The gameplay is pretty much the same as you've come to expect from Borderlands, except there are a couple arena battles, which are kinda neat, and are actually the only time-limited battles, or rather missions, that I have found in Borderlands, or Borderlands 2. These missions are also replayable, so that you can farm them for Torgue tokens, a new type of currency that can only be used in Torgue brand vending machines, which only sell Torgue brand guns. Not only that, but it's the only opportunity that you have so far in Borderlands 2 to actually buy an orange or legendary rarity gun in a vending machine. And these span all of the legendary guns within Torgue's brand. Flackers, Kerblasters, all that good stuff. However, from what I've seen, they all go for 613 Torgue tokens. And to give you perspective on that, beating the final boss gives you 25 Torgue tokens. Killing a badass gives you 1 Torgue token. So they're still stressing the rarity of these legendary guns. The atmosphere is pretty good. Mr. Torgue talking all the time, very reminiscent of Hulk Hogan in his style. A lot of people have been drawing parallels to Hercule from Dragon Ball Z, but I'm pretty sure that they're grasping at straws. I can't find any ties that would make him seem more like Hercule than Hulk Hogan. Though I guess Hulk Hogan is a bit before many people's time anyway. At any rate, he says something funny or something strangely insightful every once and again. So that's entertaining enough. Also, areas are specifically themed to each of the 4 higher-ups that you're after. In fact, even the enemies, the bandits, the bikers, and all that, all have a different version for each boss. Though the differences are only cosmetic. Tiny Tina makes a reappearance, as does Moxie. So if you have some character preference, you might be pleasantly surprised there. Well, I mean, not now, because I told you, but whatever. And all that's well and good. However, there is a major design flaw within the game, or rather DLC, and it's that the champion, Piston aside, the bosses are really just reskins. Pyro Pete is a Hyperion engineer with flamethrowers at the end of his hands instead of those weird piston fists. Motor Mama is Black Ellie. Flyboy is just a guy in a buzzard. And Piston is Gazgul Thraka. On top of that, the battle with Pyro Pete is not that exciting. He just kind of throws fire at you all the time. Motor Mama has 2 stages. One where it's vehicle based, in that she's in a vehicle and you're not, which is kind of annoying. I mean, we got vehicle combat in Borderlands 1, or rather Borderlands. And the second phase, she just kind of has a rocket launcher and shoots at you. And I think she's not coded to deal with the Mechromancer well, because anytime that I would bring out Death Trap, she'd just kind of stare at it and not try to fire at all. The boss battle in Flyboy's arena is extremely reminiscent of another boss battle in the main quest in Borderlands 2, which I will not ruin. So yeah, that's kind of disappointing. The final boss battle was also kind of terrible. Don't get me wrong, the part where you actually fight Piston I enjoyed greatly. He was kind of a unique boss, and he actually brought something new to the table. But before that, you have to take down Badassaurus Rex, which is your typical car-crushing dinosaur dude. Mechanized, of course. But there's a huge flaw in it in that he can't really be practically defeated. You can run for a while, but eventually he'll just take out missiles that have a big enough area of effect that they will down you in one shot. Seeing as if you're close enough for him to target you with it, he's going to hit you with it, directly or not. And as is true with every Borderlands boss, he gains full health when you die. On top of that, he reflects shots back to where they came from. Not at an equal and opposite angle, but exactly where it came from. So if you don't keep moving while shooting, you will hurt yourself. Which is kind of terrible because he has ridiculous amounts of health and a resistance to all damage types. Like normal, explosive, corrosion, all that he is resistant to. He has a weak point in those barrels that he has on the sides and on the back, but it's hard to focus when you can't put in a steady stream of fire because you're having bullets thrown back at you. The only way I could figure to do it was to shoot him through this little crack in the entering area for an hour and a half. And that was pretty awful. I understand that what they were probably going for was something where you needed teamwork to get through it, but Borderlands should be, and always has been before, friendly to people who play it on their own. And I don't think it's right just to punish people because they don't have anyone that they want to play with at the moment. At least for story quests. With that said, it's still enjoyable and it's still playable and still decent. But it could have been super amazing, and it just wasn't. It was definitely worth the money. And after some research into looking at how people actually liked the DLC, some people had complaints like me, and others would say that we don't really have that much of a right to complain because it was a $10 game. But this is me saying it is not a $10 game. It is a $70 game. DLC is cheap because you already bought the game. If it were a $10 standalone, I could understand where they were coming from. But it's DLC. It's an add-on. So you expect more from them. Though I say they were about on par with this, seeing as how Borderlands DLC seems to follow a formula. You have the one DLC that's kind of a new adventure in a new setting with a kind of played out type of enemy. We had zombies in Borderlands 1, we had pirates in Borderlands 2. The second one features Moxie as a big role in it, and is arena-based combat. Though Torgue's DLC did prove to have more going around places elements. But with the frequency at which you were going back to the main arena, and the way that the fights were all structured, it was really arena-based. I feel this was more tastefully done than in Mad Moxie's Underdome Riot, which was fun enough, but it just wasn't quite up to snuff with the story-driven ones. So I'd say this is an improvement. So you know what that means. Next we're gonna get the good one, just like Secret Armory, and that's just fine. At any rate, get Mr. Torgue's campaign of Carnage if you already have Borderlands 2. It's $10 more, and it's a fun time, despite its shortcomings. And that wraps it up. Thank you for listening, and be sure to check out my partners' videos. They've been doing good work. So proud. Alright, see you guys later.